The bell sounds. This match is coming your way. One fall with a 30-minute time limit. You're looking at the big cheese, Ted DiBiase, as he's getting ready to do battle against Jack Victory. My name is Peter Burkholz, and sitting around alongside of me for this particular showdown, the voice of the Universal Wrestling Federation, Jim Ross.
Thanks very much, Pete. It's great to be back with you and all the great fans here watching 39 Gold. Here from the jam-packed Sam Houston Coliseum. Should be a great matchup here. Ted DiBiase against Jack Victory. Carl Fergie, the third man in the ring, as we're gearing up for this Friday night. And what a card Friday night we have for the fans. It seems like it's been a long time since we've been back in the Coliseum. This Friday night, October the 17th, it's going to be a tremendous night of excitement. We'll tell you about that throughout this evening.
Featuring one of the superstars you're seeing in action right now. Regardless of how he makes out up against Jack Victory, Ted DiBiase is in that showdown that's going to feature a country whipping. And that's going to be something to watch as he gets his opportunity to have a chance to teach Freebird Michael Hayes a few lessons. Can you imagine the size of the leather belt Ted DiBiase is probably going to find to use on the Michael Hayes?
Oh, it's got to be one of those big leather strap type belts, or perhaps a weight training belt. The country whipping match, for you fans that don't know what a country whipping match is, it's a no disqualification matchup, one-on-one, and the individuals, in this case Ted DiBiase and Freebird Michael Hayes, will come to the ring both armed with leather straps, and they can use those leather straps any way they see fit. And so that's what you're going to see when Ted DiBiase and Michael Hayes square off this Friday night. Leather straps will be echoing throughout this historic Coliseum, and you can bet there'll be some marks on the bodies of Ted DiBiase and Michael Hayes when that one is all over with.
Ted DiBiase now sizing up the opposition in Jack Victory. We've seen Jack Victory in tag team action. We've also seen him in single action. He's a man you've got to be careful of inside the ropes, as Ted DiBiase has his reputation on the line. It's Jack Victory doing the crowding. Of course, Ted DiBiase has never taken his eye off that coveted UWF heavyweight title belt, as he has made sure that he is trying his best to continue to climb in the rankings. But right now, he found a way to slug Jack Victory. Victory thought he was safe outside the ropes, but he's going to quickly find out nobody's safe inside that barricade when Ted DiBiase's on the loose. And first flashing chop that time sends Jack Victory sprawling to the concrete floor here at the Coliseum. Ted DiBiase not allowing Jack Victory any chance of resting. He is ready to do battle.
Well, Victory took a couple of liberties with Ted DiBiase. A couple of cheap shots on the ropes, and DiBiase had all he could handle, and Victory really felt the blunt of Ted DiBiase's ire on outside, and Victory again. DiBiase distracted ever so briefly by the official, and Victory taking another cheap shot. He's learned a lot by being around Hollywood John Tatum and Eddie Gilbert at one time. Of course, that situation is a long time over. High elevation by Ted DiBiase, and a drop kick by the Omaha, Nebraska native. And Ted DiBiase is so technically sound, and now DiBiase is certainly controlling this contest. And Friday night, with no disqualifications, you will see John Tatum and Jack Victory, the high school buddies, with Missy Hyatt at ringside. The men will go against Eddie Gilbert and Sting with no disqualifications. That match this Friday night.
You know, Jim, it's important to point out that all these tremendous battles that we've been talking about the last few weeks do take place this Friday night in the Sam Houston Coliseum, including that added attraction of Missy Hyatt being stuck in that dunking tank, as she has 1 hour to fill from 6:30 to 7:30 to fulfill her commitment to Dark Journey. That's this Friday night at the Coliseum. This tremendous blockbusting card and regular ticket prices.
That's the greatest, I think one of the greatest things of all, regular ticket prices. Missy Hyatt in the dunk tank from 6:30 to 7:30, and the fans will get their opportunity to really ensure that Missy is all wet. They've said that, I think, a few times, among other things regarding Missy Hyatt. We've got quite a match in the ring right now. Jack Victory Without a doubt, it's got to be one of the biggest single matches of his career, going up against a man with a world-renowned reputation like Ted DiBiase. A victory for Jack Victory would certainly be a feather in his cap, and that's probably a gross understatement, but it's certainly no small order to defeat Ted DiBiase on any occasion in any type match that he has had.
Huge crowd here in the Coliseum starting to chant Teddy, 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 as they have grown to support Ted DiBiase 110%, because they know that DiBiase gives 110% when he steps inside that ring.
Hacksaw Jim Duggan in the Orient. I got a letter from him the other day, Pete. He wanted me to be sure and tell all the fans, especially here in Houston, that he did say hello. He's looking forward to being back this Friday night. It will be Hacksaw Duggan, the missing link, and Chavo Guerrero against Devastation Incorporated, the one-man gang at 465, Bad Leroy Brown at nearly 400, about 380, and Savannah Jack with Akbar at ringside. What a six-man war that will be Friday night. And we've got a war right now in the ring.
Give and take, as this is the type match that Ted DiBiase likes. That he doesn't like, as he was able to throw his entire body aimed in the direction of Jack Victory. Victory was able to barely get out of the way, and it's that left shoulder that went crashing into the metal ring post, as DiBiase's down outside on the floor, as Jack Victory now a little bit more confident. But you know, that's one of the tough aspects of professional wrestling for stars like Ted DiBiase. Every single time he steps inside the ring, that his opponent is geared up to pull the upset or to defeat him, because that reputation is so important.
One loss record is extremely important. The reputation is also quite obviously very important. So anytime you can beat a man with a world-class reputation like Ted DiBiase, it really is, I think, a boost in the career of any athlete. And Victory was a sleeper. The sleep hole, and it will be Victory and Tatum, I think, befittingly. No disqualifications against Eddie Gilbert and Sting. And another match that will be, I think, awesome. Worth the price of admission. I don't care what the ticket price would be. In the cage for the UWF Heavyweight Championship inside the Houston fence, Dr. Death and Terry Gordy. That will be one of the greatest matches, I predict, in the history of Houston wrestling this Friday night. And remember, it's all at regular prices.
You know, all the fans are asking the question, can Dr. Death do it? Is he able to defeat Bam Bam Gordy and become the first man to be able to win 3 consecutive cage battles against 3 different opponents, one right after another?
It's going to be a historic occasion. I think we saw some blood flowing from the head of Ted DiBiase. It looked like he had been busted open by Jack Victory. And DiBiase, who is a tremendous counter wrestler, but he works the best on the offensive. That's what he's got to get back on. And because right now it's Victory. And DiBiase reaching down into his bag of tricks, showing his vast experience. And that's one very unique and creative way to free yourself from the sleep hole predicament.
As DiBiase now starts to battle back, he's taking a lot of punishment and that wear and tear of the sleep hold, but DiBiase is used to taking punishment, and he's even more accustomed to giving it out. Look at the way that he aimed those wallets when they found their mark, as DiBiase falls through the vicious right on fist to his, sending Victory down to the mat, as Ted DiBiase, again, a little bit too anxious.
DiBiase moving in for the kill, but Victory showing that he is also gaining experience and expertise. And it was Victory that sent DiBiase sailing from the ring. Jack Victory, a former Pro Wrestling Rookie of the Year, as was the man you see in the ring, Ted DiBiase. And that's why the Universal Wrestling Federation, one of the reasons that the UWF, as we take a close look at Ted DiBiase, laying on that worn concrete floor of the Sam Houston Coliseum, one of the reasons that the UWF is rising to the top and has risen to the top in professional wrestling is the caliber of athletes, and you're witnessing that right here.
Jack Victory bringing Ted DiBiase back into the ring, and Ted DiBiase was able to land on his feet, which saved him a tremendous fall to the mat. And now is DiBiase trying to go over Victory, and beautiful move. That's got to be one of the best moves in professional wrestling today. devastating move, a move that usually spells victory in capital letters for Ted DiBiase.
It looked like DiBiase had made a very tactical and a very fatal error. He turned that error into a victory. You saw what a tremendous power slam. He is the supreme strategist. But there will be no strategy employed this Friday night. It will be man on man with leather straps. Michael Hayes and Ted DiBiase. And what a card. We'll tell you more about it in the hour. But we've got a winner. It's Ted DiBiase.
And we'll be back for more Houston wrestling action after this very important message.
Down, DiBiase. It's just a fact that you know that every time that I walk in any arena or any place I walk on this green earth, that women look at me with lust in their hearts. And every time that we come somewhere where you're ruling, see, you and Dr. Death used to rule this area. But that's used to, boy. Because the Freebirds came to the UWF, and we are the guys that sit on top of the mountain and look down at the rest. Now, you understand this. You've been bugging me, and you've bugging me for the last time. You say you want to get even? You want to show me how your old man showed you how to take care of a child when he didn't act right? Well, this ain't no child. This is Michael P.S. Hayes. And the P.S. this time ain't going to stand for purely sexy. It's going to stand for purely sadistics, because when the match starts, I get a belt, you get a belt, they ring the bell, we just go at it, and go at it, and I'm going to whoop you to death.
You know, Hayes, you took it upon yourself to take a belt like this to my back. And it stung. It didn't hurt me near as much as the injury back in '81 that almost ended my career. The same type of injury that almost ended my partner's career. But all it did do, Hayes, is it poured a little salt. It added salt to the already open wound, a festering wound. The sickness that I have inside that's got to come out on you, Michael Hayes. They call this a country whipping match. And nobody appreciates a good old country whipping more than me. Where I came from up there in the corn country in Nebraska, they know what country whippings are all about. You get a belt, Hayes. I get a belt, Hayes. The bell rings, and we get after it. Be ready, because I'm going to give you a whipping your mom and daddy should have given you a long time ago.
Well, you've heard what they had to say about what they're going to do. Now, be at the Coliseum on Friday night, and you will see that they are going to do what they say, because they have a strange habit of turning those words into violence and to action, and it is going to be solid action at the Coliseum this coming Friday night. I remind you that our tickets are on sale at all Ticketmaster and Ticketron, but they are also on sale at 1919 Caroline in downtown Houston. That's at the corner of Pierce. Get your tickets early, but be at the Coliseum on Friday night.
Successful tour of the Orient, defending that UWF title. He has come back to States, and boy, this is a tough way to come back to this country and having to put your belt on the line right up against one-man gang. But this, of course, is the tough schedules that face champions who travel around the world defending their belts. As a UWF title is a prestigious title respected throughout the wrestling world. As Terry Bam Bam Gordy, he knows that he is in for a real battle tonight, and he wants to do whatever he can to hold on to that UWF heavyweight title. You realize, Bruce, and fans out there, that Terry Bam Bam Gordy is the only UWF heavyweight champion in the history of the belt, because he won it back May 30th right here in the same Houston Coliseum in that controversial victory over Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Ironically, it was set by One-Man Gang. One-Man Gang attacked Hacksaw Duggan before that final match of that tremendous history-making tournament. He hurt Hacksaw Duggan and enabled Terry Bam Bam Gordy to win the title. But now, Terry Gordy has to face One-Man Gang.
That's right, Pete. And ever since then, the One-Man Gang has been going around claiming that title, claiming that he is the man that should have been entered in that tournament and should have been in the finals with Hacksaw Jim Duggan or Terry Gordy. He feels he should be the champion now.
So a question that was raised back on May 30th is going to be settled right now. And Terry Bam Bam Gordy, he can take the fight to anybody, as he is one of the few times that he's going to be facing somebody who's actually bigger. But Bam Bam has the nickname Bam Bam for a reason, and that's because he goes in there and he bam bams his opponent with those blows of the right fist or those kicks of his. He is the roughest, toughest of the Freebirds.
Also, Pete, General Skandor Akbar has had One-Man Gang training for this match. And one-man gang just a few weeks ago is weighing in at 465 pounds. And the Generals had him training to get up to the 500-pound mark to be ready for this match. I don't know if he's met him. I believe the announcer announced him at about 475, and that's almost twice of Terry Bam Bam Gordy.
The one-man gang, regardless how one-man gang makes out in this title match tonight, he will be participating in that wild six-man gang war taking place this Friday night at the Coliseum on that tremendous, blockbusting October 17th card, as he is just one member of Devastation Incorporated. Bad Leroy Brown returns to Houston Wrestling, along with Savannah Jack, as they, under the guidance of General Skendo Akbar, will go up against, and listen to this lineup, Chavo Guerrero, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, and the Missing Link. That's next Friday night. Right now, we've got one-man gang outside the ring, and Bam Bam is not going to give him a moment's rest, as Bam Bam is taking the fight right to him, as we've seen very few men able to take the fight right to one-man gang. Hacksaw Duggan's one of them, and here we're seeing evidence of another.
And also Hacksaw Jim Duggan's taking the fight to Terry Gordy many times. I don't think we're going to be seeing too many wrestling moves in this. Terry Gordy is getting ready to wallop into the one-man gang and try and take the big 475-pound man right off his feet.
One fall battle, which means all it takes is one mistake with one quick move, one devastating punch or kick. As one-man gang now finding a place to send Bam Bam, misses with that clothesline, but Bam Bam sure didn't, and he toppled the one-man gang. 2 and no 3, as we could feel the ground shake all the way back here to the platform when one-man gang hit that mat. Bam Bam now into the ropes, and General Akbar pulled on the boots of Bam Bam, and Carl Fergie now coming down on top of General Skendo Akbar. But one-man gang is chomping down as Terry Bam Bam Gordy, right now he's just playing outnumbered.
That's right, he's capitalized on the misfortune of Terry Gordy and also the outside interference of General Skendo Akbar right now. Biting on that wound right now, he's working on it. He's biting on the forehead of Terry Gordy.
What fans have got to remember is no one's been able to beat one-man gang yet. As he has climbed up to the ratings that he has now earned this shot at the UWF Heavyweight title. As Terry Bam Bam Gordy, we have yet to see anybody defeat him since he's won that May 30th tournament here in the Sam Houston Coliseum. As now as Bam Bam's cut open, the result of those chomps across the forehead by one-man gang, who doesn't make any bones about it. He is out to win matches, and he will do whatever it takes to win the match, and especially with something like the UWF heavyweight title on the line.
Something else, Pete, you don't see Michael Hayes at ringside. This is an all-important bout for Terry Gordy. It's for the title. General Skendo Akbar is there at ringside cheering on his main charge of one-man gang, but not Michael Hayes. He's absent from ringside.
Well, you see, we have a jam-packed crowd here at the Sam Houston Coliseum, as they are a little bit silent right now, Bruce, because they really don't know who they want to root for. All they know is they respect both men's ability and their toughness, and they're sitting back and watching a classic showdown confrontation between two rugged individuals. There's not a big crowd favorite in this match, but they're sitting back and enjoying this type of confrontation. 5 minutes deep in this Universal Wrestling Federation heavyweight title match between the champion, Terry Bam Bam Gordy, and the challenger, nearly 500 pounds of one-man gang.
It is a tough one to pick, Pete, and I think the fans here at the Coliseum tonight, I don't think they want either man to walk away with that belt tonight. I think they'd much rather see it around the waist of a man like Hacksaw Jim Duggan or Steve Dr. Death Williams.
Bam Bam's out onto the concrete floor as Peter Renee, the official photographer of UWF, quickly gets out of the way of those two big men, as he is covering this story for the Mid-South Wrestling Bulletin, the UWF Wrestling Bulletin, as this is a big showdown for the title. Everything on the line, and Terry Gordy still suffering from that lacerated head of his, as one-man gang confidently walks across, and now doing what he does so well, and that's using every ounce of his weight to his advantage.
And Carl Fergie's got his hands full down there. He's got to watch General Skendo Akbar also. He's trying to get the gang of Gordy back inside the ring to control this match and keep it under some kind of control.
Now as Bam Bam is thrown right into the ring post. Terry Gordy, the UWF champion, is in a tough predicament as one-man gang, making sure Gordy makes it back in the ring, as he would like nothing better than to capitalize on the day's champion right now. Keep in mind that Terry Gordy is 280 pounds. He's around 6'5". He's a big man, but when he goes stacked up against one-man gang, he is giving away a weight advantage there.
Don't count Terry Gordy out. He's as tough as they come, and there you see, he's coming back, laying those elbows in, but the gang's right back there with a rake across the eyes. And the one-man gang is agile for a 475-pound man, but Gordy's coming back.
Terry Gordy has proven his toughness, especially in that May 30th history-making tournament. He defeated 4 men to win the UWF heavyweight title. 4 men in the same night. That's the kind of toughness that goes along with the Freebird, the UWF heavyweight champion, Terry Gordy. And one-man gang topples outside the ring as one-man gang now, as he has felt the barrage of Terry Gordy, as Gordy is living up to his reputation as a champion. Bruce, he is taking the battle right to one-man gang, and that is going to help his cause right there.
They're trading it Pete blow for blow right now. Gordy, he's going after Akbar, the man responsible for giving the gang the edge in the first place. And Gordy's not going to let up one bit. Right now, he's going to make his way around the ring, and he's going after the one-man gang.
As both men make their way back in, referee Carl Fergie back in the ring. Remember, this is for all the marbles, the UWF heavyweight title. Terry Gordy and one-man gang slugging it out. And as Terry Gordy now looks for a place to throw that ball up, and again he topples one-man gang to the mat, and you can see the tattoos on the side of the head. One-man gang is split open as well. This is the type battle that officials were expecting, Bruce, a hard-fought, bloody battle. And that time, Carl Fergie, he caught the blunt of not only Terry Gordy, but the weight of one-man gang. He was squashed into that turnbuckle.
Gordy going for that patented Freebird pile driver, and Carl Fergie getting the brunt of it as the gang got him into that corner. And now the gang in the top rope's broken.
And that we were afraid of. We didn't know whether the ring was actually big enough to and strong enough to hold these 2 giants. One-man gang outside the ring as he toppled over the second rope, which is as tall as one-man gang is not a hard thing to do. That's as Terry Gordy now go for that Oriental spike. He's got it, Bruce. He's got the Oriental spike. General Akbar came in, and Gordy had the answer for General Akbar.
There you see Gordy. They're going right after. They're trading the blows, and Carl Fergie trying to separate them, and now the one-man gang's got Fergie down, and they're trading it, Pete.
And Terry Gordy jerking that top rope as the matches continue. Carl Fergie trying to break him up, but he's having very little luck. He calls for the bell. The bell is being sounded. General Akbar still in the ring as he sneaks up behind Terry Gordy. And one-man gang and General Akbar doing what they do best, and that's ganging up on Terry Gordy. At that time, one-man gang missed it with the clothesline, and Terry Gordy is outside the ring as the bell has sounded as we wait for the official verdict.
A double disqualification.
So this match, this Universal Wrestling Federation heavyweight title match ended in a double disqualification as we just saw the champion Terry Gordy go up the aisle, and now an upset one-man gang. Bruce, Terry Bam Bam Gordy took it right to him.
That's right. We've also got an upset General Scandal Akbar. You see the one-man gang crawling across the ring. They've got to be upset, Pete. They trained for this match, and Terry Gordy still remains UWF champion.
So the issue hasn't been settled, but nevertheless, Terry Bam Bam Gordy is still the champion. We'll be back with some important wrestling news in just one moment.
Pulling the tights of Terry Taylor, the referee down counting the shoulders. No way he could see that the tights were being pulled, but Buddy Roberts, as a result of that maneuver, became the new Universal Wrestling Federation television champion. We got
He ain't got the leg hook. Here comes Bobby Button with the save. So that would also be a normal disqualification under normal rules.
The Fantastics are bloody. They've been battered. the last few moments in their titles hang in the balance here on the Universal Wrestling Federation.
They go to shoot them together. They hook arms. Went for a punch. He ducked it. And Tony Rogers slipped under with a sunset. That's it. Was that a 3 count or did Sting stop it?
He got it. He got the 3 count. That was lightning.
I'm not sure.
They're battered. They're bloody. They may be bruised, but they're still the champions here on the Universal Wrestling Federation. Hello again, everybody. Welcome to another exciting hour of the Universal Wrestling Federation.
Boy, they're cheering for me.
I'm Jim Ross, and along with Michael P.S. Hayes, we'll describe the action. Ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be a phenomenal hour. Headlined by the UWF Heavyweight Championship encounter, Terry Bam Bam Gordy defending against Steve Dr. Death Williams.
Well, I'll tell you what. As the film showed it 2 weeks ago, my brother wasn't beat. He's never been beat. He's gone through everybody. He is the champ, and that was quite apparent with Chris Adams coming onto the scene and relinquishing the world title that he had. All these world champions are realizing where the big belt is, the Universal title, and today on the UWF we're going to see it.
Well, I agree with that. We also saw the Tag Team Championship matchup, a few moments of that, the Fantastics winning that decision last week, and once again, Buddy Roberts blatant tight pulling to secure the television
He's the number 1 contender now. He'll screen all competition.
And we'll have the top 10 in this hour, the new top 10, and we'll also see a special feature involving Bill Apter, senior editor of Pro Wrestling Illustrated, and Cowboy Bill Watts.
Gag me with the
It's going to be a great hour, ladies and gentlemen, and right now, let's go to the ring in our first matchup.
Ladies and gentlemen, this next match in the ring at this time, 240 pounds, from Havana, Cuba, Gustavo Mendoza.
He always has that cigar in his mouth. I wonder if that cuts down on his wind.
I wonder if Fidel watches his man there on satellite down in Cuba. Our program airs in Puerto Rico. Very pleasant hello to you folks. Gentleman, Chris Adams making his way to the ring. You can see a phenomenal crowd here at Barton Coliseum in Little Rock, Arkansas, during the Arkansas State Fair. Chris Adams making his second appearance here on the Universal Wrestling Federation, and Savannah Jack made quite an impression on Chris Adams last week, as Akbar thinks
And entering the ring
that
at
Chris Adams'
235
super
pounds,
kick is inferior to Savannah Jack.
Gentleman, Chris Adams. One fall with a 10-minute time limit.
You know, Chris Adams coming to the UWF just kind of reminds you of the USFL players migrating back to the NFL. They want to be where the money is at. They want to be where the big-time things are going on. And him, you know, the world title that he did hold, his version, whatever, he was never beat for it. He had to relinquish it because he had failed to make a date, so he was never beat. Now he wants my brother's title. He can forget it.
Well, he is a tremendous athlete. I think you'll agree with that.
And, hey, I will agree with that, and also I know from experience that guy does have a super kick.
Just a few moments, ladies and gentlemen, we'll have a special feature from Wrestlefest 86 and the Tulsa State Fair. We'll also have our new computerized UWF Top 10.
And we know who will be at the number 1 rankings. We know who's the champ, and that's what Adams, he really doesn't care. He will go tooth and nail with you. If you want to fight, he'll fight.
You can bet he'll start working his way right up those top 10 rankings. He is definitely one of the supreme professional wrestlers in this sport.
Well, the adversity he'd come over the first of the year, the breakup with him and Gino Hernandez, unfortunately, God bless his soul. Now he's gone. Also the eye injury that he had. He's fought adversity, then to win a title, then have to be stripped of it because he couldn't make a date. And now he realizes the UWF is the place to be, and he's got to climb the ladder again. I give the guy credit for that, but I also give him the same advice I give everybody else. When you're climbing that mountain to walk down Bad Street, you ain't going to make it to the last house on the right.
Of course, that remains to be seen. They'll settle that in the ring, just like things in the Universal Wrestling Federation.
Well, Dr. Death is going to find that out.
He certainly is. He certainly is. I will agree with you on that point.
It's about time. I won you Announcer of the Year. You'd think you'd agree with me every time. Good. Gustavo Mendoza opening up on him. Good double chop. Taking advantage of him being in the ropes. Didn't break. And he's hit him with a couple. Whoa, went for a clothesline. Ducked it. Boom, there it is. That's it. Good night. Super kick and super win.
Chris Adams with a very impressive victory here on the Universal Wrestling Federation, and we'll be back with more UWF action after this timeout.
Smash the market, smash the marketplace.
Heavyweight title, Steve Dr. Death Williams battles Freebird Terry Bam Bam Gordy. A country whipping match, Ted DiBiase faces Michael P.S. Hayes. A six-man gang war, the one-man gang. Savannah Jack and Bad Leroy Brown battle Hacksaw Jim Duggan, the missing link, and Chavo Guerrero. The TV title's on the line when the new champion, Buddy Roberts, faces Terry Taylor. No disqualifications as Hollywood John Tatum and Jack Victory battle Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert and Sting. That's this Friday night, October 17th, Sam Houston Coliseum, 8 p.m. Plus, we will have Missy Hyatt in the dunk booth from 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. before the matches get underway. That's Friday night, October 17th, this Friday. Tickets on sale, 1919 Caroline on the corner of Pierce. We're open Monday through Friday from 9 in the morning till 4 in the afternoon. Tickets also available at all Ticketmaster and Tickettron outlets. You should be there.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Universal Wrestling Federation. In this segment, we're going to show you a couple of features. One, the new UWF Top 10, the computerized Top 10, as we gaze over this great crowd here at Barton Coliseum. But before we show you the Top 10, we're going to also see a feature on Wrestlefest 86, which was held just a few days ago, during the Tulsa State Fair in Tulsa, Oklahoma. We'll have that in just a few moments. But before we go to that, Michael, right here in this very city, Little Rock, Arkansas, I mentioned this a couple of weeks ago, your meeting with David Lee Roth, the meeting of the rock and roll minds.
Well, you know, the Freebirds and David Lee Roth, known for Jack Brothers and Jack Daniels, a lot of it went down. But I'll tell you what I want to talk about and what I want to see is the end of Steve Dr. Death Williams. This should be his last chance. It was proven last time that you are not the man you think. You don't have 10 other guys helping you. You don't have a head coach or a wrestling coach, and you can't beat Bam Bam, boy.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that will be coming up in just a few moments. But right now, before we show you the Top 10, let's take a look at the Tulsa State Fair and Wrestle. This week's UWF Computerized Top 10 sees Hollywood John Tatum in number 10. Chavo Guerrero, Los Angeles, California, number 9. The Missing Link in number 8. Freebird Michael P.S. Hayes, number 7. Terry Taylor, the former television champion, number 6. The Giant One-Man Gang, Devastation Incorporated, number 5. Dr. Death Steve Williams moving up to number 4. Ted DiBiase, number 3. Hacksaw Jim Duggan, the number 2 contender. And the number 1 contender to Terry Gordy's UWF Heavyweight Championship is Freebird Buddy Roberts, the new television champion. Ladies and gentlemen, there's a look at the UWF Top 10, 1 and 2.
It looks so good, baby. It looks so good.
And the tight still bears in my mind, front of the mind awareness as far as that part is concerned, I'll tell you.
I would just say that your mind is bare, period.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back with more UWF action. The UWF Heavyweight Championship will be on the line when we come back.
Souvenirs are available by mail. T-shirts of Hacksaw Duggan, Dr. Death, Terry Taylor, The Fantastics, Bad Street USA, and the official UWF T-shirt. Each shirt only $12. Also available by mail, color 8x10s of Ted DiBiase, Terry Taylor, The Fantastics, Jim Duggan, The Freebirds. Each one only $5. And black and white 8x10s of Dark Journey with the Missing Link, Hacksaw Duggan, Terry Taylor, The Fantastics, Dr. Death, and Ted DiBiase. They're only $3 each by mail. Be the first in your area to own the official souvenirs of the UWF. Here's how to order. MasterCard and Visa customers call toll-free 1-800-233-8741. Texas residents call 1-800-327-2151 or send cashier's check or money order to UWF Souvenirs, 1919 Caroline, Houston, Texas 77002. All prices include postage and handling. Allow 4 to 6 weeks delivery.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Barton Coliseum in Little Rock, Arkansas. Universal Wrestling Federation action. Jim Ross and Michael Hayes with you as Terry.
There he is,
The Bam Bam Gordy.
the champ.
He will be defending the UWF Heavyweight Championship against the awesome challenge of Steve Dr. Death Williams. That rematch as a result of the decision rendered just a couple of weeks ago when neither man was pinned. The match was quickly signed. Bam Bam, Terry Gordy, and Steve Dr. Death Williams. The UWF Heavyweight Championship will be on the line in just a few moments.
You know, we've definitely, Terry and Buddy and I all watched that film, and he's ready for that belly-to-back move.
UWF Heavyweight title match. In the ring at this time, the current UWF Heavyweight Champion, weighing 296 pounds, from Bad Street, USA, Freebird Terry Bam Bam Gordy.
There he is, the epitome of professional wrestling, the champ, the Universal Wrestling Federation Heavyweight Championship.
And you hear the music in the background and the roar of approval of the fans here from the land of opportunity in the great state of Arkansas. Steve Dr. Death Williams will be making his way to the ring, and this match will be contested in one ring. Two rings sitting side by side in preparation for the big two-ring battle royal. And Dr. Death looks in magnificent condition as he's jogging his way to the ring.
He better be in magnificent condition. He usually is anyway, but it's going to take more than that. It's going to take a brain. And it's going to take deep digging.
And in the ring at this time, the challenger at 270 pounds, former four-time All-American wrestler from the University of Oklahoma, Steve Dr. Death Williams. One fall, TV time remaining.
Hey, wait a minute. Is that who I think it is? What's Hacksaw Jim Duggan doing going down to the ring?
President of the Double G Lumber Company making his way to the ring.
He ain't got no business there. Now look at me. See, I'm not getting in the way.
How do you know Michael, he
has no business being there.
He's He's got something to say, quite obviously. Let's listen.
Yeah, he talks like he's got marbles in his mouth.
Ladies and gentlemen, I just want to make one thing perfectly clear. No matter who wins this match, my good friend Steve Dr. Death Williams, or that scum of the earth, Perry Gordy, I just want to make it clear. The best man wins, but then Hacksaw Jim Duggan got the next shot for the UWF title. Tough guy.
The only thing he made clear is he's an idiot.
What do you mean by that? He signed a contract to wrestle the winner. Shook Dr. Death's hand. Little stomp there with a bammer.
Hey. See that? He's antagonizing him. Same thing happened last week. Victory and Tatum came out and threw off Gilbert and Sting's concentration. Now a championship match should not have that involved. Look, he's grabbing the referee. They better get him out of there. I see Ronnie West running down. He has no business. I'll tell you what. If they don't get him out of there, I'll go down there and get him out.
What, Michael? Why don't you just call? Nothing's happening.
Nothing's happening. Look at him. He's not supposed to be at... I'll tell you what. All right, if Ronnie West doesn't get him out of the ring, I'm going down there and I'll take care of this.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, they're getting Hacksaw Duggan out of the ring.
No, not quick enough for me. I'm going to get him.
Well, we're going to be right back. We're going to take a break now so we can bring you all of this match. Don't go away. We'll be right back with the championship battle. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
8 p.m. at the Grimes County Fairgrounds Rodeo Arena, benefiting the Muscular Dystrophy Association. Tickets on sale now at Walmart, Navasota, also the Navasota Chamber of Commerce. Some of the great stars to see action in Navasota include The Fantastics, Bad Leroy Brown, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert Sting, Freebird Buddy Roberts, Chavo Guerrero, Rick Steiner, and more. Remember, that's this Saturday night, October 18th, 8 p.m., Grimes County Fairgrounds Rodeo Arena, Navasota, Texas. The UWF on tour. Don't you miss it.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I can't believe what has just transpired during the commercial break. It really broke loose. Bodies flying all over the ring during the commercial break. We did keep the cameras rolling. We taped what we have just seen. And now let's go show you what happened just a few moments ago. It all started when Michael Hayes left the podium here and ventured his way to the ring. As you can see, Hayes going through this tremendous crowd and going directly to Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Hayes with a verbal barrage on Hacksaw Duggan. But as we all know, Duggan's temperament is Dr. Death waiting for the start of the championship match. It didn't take Duggan long to hear all of Michael Hayes that he wanted to hear, and the fight broke out. Hacksaw Duggan and Michael Hayes, Terry Gordy then coming to Hayes' rescue, and Dr. Death Steve Williams coming to the ring as well. It's going to be 2-on-2. Duggan and Dr. Death, great friends, and they are standing together against the Freebirds and really letting the Freebirds have it. Remember, the championship match was supposed to start moments ago, but it has really broken out. Michael Hayes going to the ring, and now you see Terry Gordy hammering Hacksaw Jim Duggan. These two big men, and Duggan fighting back, and Duggan's big right hands connecting on Bam Bam Gordy. And here's what swung the odds in favor of the Freebirds. Akbar's Devastation Incorporated coming to the ring. There's Bad Leroy Brown. Akbar with a vengeance on Hacksaw Duggan. And that allowed Terry Gordy to go back with Michael Hayes and double team Steve Dr. Death Williams. Duggan has his hands full with Devastation, and they're ramming Dr. Death into that steel railing. And then watch this. Gordy holding the arm, and Michael Hayes coming off the ring apron right on the Dr. Death's elbow. Dr. Death Steve Williams severely injured at the hands of the double-teaming Freebirds. Duggan fighting for his life in the ring. Dr. Death Steve Williams on the outside. Dr. Death is hurt. Quite obviously, ladies and gentlemen, Steve Dr. Death Williams sustaining a very serious injury. I understand it's to his elbow. And his big opportunity here seemingly has been ruined at the hands of the Freebirds. General Akbar was at ringside. And I don't know if well, there's Dr. S.D. Williams' music, so evidently he's not going to let this injury prevent him from going for the goal. And he's on his way to the ring. Steve Williams is taped up, but he is a stallion. He's played with pain before with the Oklahoma Sooners, and his arm has been heavily bandaged. The good doctor is coming back, and Terry Gordy is not wasting any time and taking over on Steve Dr. Death Williams in this battle for the UWF Heavyweight Championship. It has a one fall or television time limit. Terry Gordy now, obviously and very opportunistically, taking over on Steve Dr. Death Williams. You can see the Doc's arm has been heavily taped, and the big stallion from Norman, Oklahoma is fighting back on Terry Gordy. He knows what's on the line, but so does Gordy ever so well, and Gordy kicking that injured arm. Remember, it all started with Hacksaw Duggan very simply coming to the ring and making a statement that he had signed a contract to wrestle the winner. It really broke loose during the commercial break. You have seen what has happened to this point, and right now Dr. Death, and it apparently he has virtually no use whatsoever in his left hand, his left arm. His left elbow was really hammered. You saw what happened on the railing with Michael P.S. Hayes and Terry Bam Bam Gordy. That double team tactics, that's typical Freebird style. They've always got something in mind. They're very opportunistic. And Bam Bam, a version of the spinning leg lock, only this time very adeptly applied to the injured arm of Steve Dr. Death Williams. And except for the very brief offensive flurry by the good doctor a few moments ago, it has been all Terry Gordy. I noticed that referee Ron West is still at ringside. I think that's a great tribute to the officials of the UWF to have two officials on hand for this match. And Dr. Death using every part of his anatomy that he can, because he can't use his left arm. Dr. Death, those big hammers. Dr. Death with that tackle, but not as effective. He doesn't have the balance, but that one was effective. That one came from a long way down, the doctor reaching down. And the champion has got to be wondering, what does it take to stop this animal? Gordy now, the arm twist on Williams. You can see the pressure being applied to the injured elbow of Steve Williams by Terry Gordy. In this battle on the Universal Wrestling Federation for the heavyweight championship, it is one fall or television time remaining. Short arm scissors by Terry Gordy, and he has worked on no other part of the anatomy other than that injured arm. And look at him rake that knee right across the elbow and the tricep and bicep area of Steve Dr. Death Williams as Doc is holding on. The pain that he's got to be sustaining now has got to be excruciating. Most athletes, I would say the vast majority of athletes, would not even think of going back to the ring to compete here on national television for the most prestigious title in professional wrestling today, the UWF Heavyweight Championship. But Dr. Death Steve Williams is attempting to meet that challenge. You hear the crowd here at Barton Coliseum in Little Rock, Arkansas. Go, Steve, go. But Dr. Death at this point is trying to hold on. Gordy, great camera shot there, burying the knee into the arm of Dr. Death, and his face tells the story. Gordy hammering away back on Dr. Death's arm, but look at Doc fighting. Look at Williams fighting with everything he's got. And Gordy goes down with a bewildered look on his face. Williams goes for a high-risk maneuver, and Gordy moves out of the way. Not a sound tactical move for Dr. Death, and he re-injured his own arm right there, and Gordy right back on the attack. We're going to have to take a commercial timeout here in just a few moments, everyone. We're going to keep the cameras rolling, and we'll be right back with more UWF Heavyweight Championship action after this very brief timeout. I'm Jim Ross. And this is the battle for the UWF Heavyweight Championship. If you've just joined us, Steve Dr. Death Williams sustained a severe elbow injury at the hands of Terry Bam Bam Gordy and Freebird Michael P.S. Hayes. During a commercial break just a few moments ago, the fireman's carry takedown by Dr. S.C. Williams, who has literally fought his heart out in this heavyweight championship encounter, and a double clothesline by Williams and Gordy. Remember, they took Williams back to the dressing room. They tried, I have been told, to talk him out of this match here on national television. He adamantly refused. He wanted to compete. He wanted to go for the gold, to be the next UWF heavyweight champion, and he's trying to do it with one arm as Bam Bam Gordy goes to the top rope, and Dr. Death with his right hand buried deep into the midsection, and Gordy is wobbling, and Dr. Death brings the champion off the top. Dr. Death with a modified flying body press. You can see he has use of only his right arm and his head, and every other part of his anatomy has been forced into action as a weapon. As Dr. S.C. Williams is fighting back on the 296-pound heavyweight champion Terry Gordy, and Doc is digging down deep. Quick ball tackle from number 76 of the Sooners, and Gordy was vertical. Williams he's trying to set him for the power driver. He's only got one hand, but he got it. It may not have had the full impact. He only had the use of his right arm, but Steve Williams shows everyone he is a stallion. He's going for the goal. Look at him trying to pin the man. It's instinctive. It's like a pit bulldog. They're bred to fight, and Dr. S.C. Williams is a thoroughbred. He is a winner. He is fighting back, and he is in the ring with one of the most awesome athletes in professional sports, Terry Gordy. What a clothesline! He nailed him. Can you imagine the pain shooting through the body of Steve Williams, that injured elbow, and he's covered with a 2 count, a near fall for the doctor. Where else but the Universal Wrestling Federation will you see this kind of action? You've got it right here. We certainly appreciate you being with us. And Gordy goes upside down in the corner. Williams with all the velocity that he can muster. And Gordy is in a precarious situation here. Williams clubbing away at the champion. This is one fall. It is television time remaining. And it is for the most prestigious single championship in professional sports, the UWF heavyweight title. Gordy has got to be wondering what's going on. Williams fighting him with one arm. Dr. Death pulling Terry Gordy out. There's Michael Hayes. Now what is he? They're not going to interfere. He says he's never going to interfere, and there he is at ringside. He has no business being down there. I'm glad Ronnie West is there. Look at Hayes. Near fall in the ring. Michael Hayes in that second ring has no business being at ringside. Now look at him. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Hold on here. Terry Gordy's putting something on his hand. Gordy's got something on his hand. Terry Gordy has just leveled Steve Williams, and I'll guarantee he had a foreign object in his hand. And there's a pinfall. That's disgraceful. Michael Hayes, that's a Freebird plot. He knew Gordy had that foreign object. He didn't come to the ring to interfere physically. That's typical Freebird, and Dr. Death is out cold. Dr. Death is out cold. Typical Freebird playing. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back. We've got standby matches. We'll be right back after this timeout.
Guess who just got back today? The Mild-Eyed Boys that have been away haven't changed that much to say. But man, I still think them cats are crazy. They were asking if you were around, how you was, where you could be found. Told them you were living downtown. driving all the old men crazy. The boys are back in town. The boys are back in town. I said the boys are back in town. The boys are back in town. You know that chick used to
That Missy Hyatt is likely to be dunked as many as 50 times into that tub of water, that you could be the one that drops her down in there for if you will throw the ball at her. That action starts at 6:30 at the Coliseum, but it winds up inside the fence with Dr. Death taking
for their support, because they didn't give me no support. And I'm not going to thank all the UWF officials for being fair, because they were never, ever fair every time I wrestled Taylor. But it finally caught up. The law of averages, it caught up to you, Taylor, and I won. Now I am going to thank my brothers, Michael Hayes and Terry Gordy. They stood behind me, and they coached me, and they trained me, and they stood behind me, and now I am the Universal TV champ. And you know what, Bob? I'm talking about you, Taylor. It's about time that the fans have got a real man as a TV champ. And you're not a real man, and I am a real man. You're a pansy, and I predict that you do not have a chance to win this belt back from Buddy Roberts.
Buddy Roberts is the new Universal Wrestling Federation television champion. I almost choke on it saying those words because of the way you won it, Buddy Roberts. Now the Freebirds have the bargaining power. They're in the pivotal position because Buddy Roberts is the policeman for Terry Gordy. You have to beat Buddy Roberts to win the television title, plus you have to do that to get to Terry Gordy. Well, Buddy Roberts, you stole that belt from me, but I can't cry over spilt milk. What's happened has happened. But Buddy Roberts, I can darn sure do something about it in the future, because this is a rematch. I can't wait to get my hands on that little scrawny neck of yours. Because Buddy Roberts, you did steal, and I'm going to treat you just like somebody who did steal something. And I'm going to beat you so long and so hard that when that match is over, you're going to want to just hand that belt back to me. Because Buddy Roberts, I don't like you, I don't like the Freebirds, and I'm going to take out all this anger on you.
Missy Hyatt for a day. Well, I spent a whole day with Missy Hyatt, but I saved 1 hour for you people. For all of you that wanted to take a shot at Missy Hyatt other than myself, this is the dunking booth, and you get to spend 1 hour. So all of you, come on down, try out your right arm, take a shot at Missy Hyatt, because Missy Hyatt, I think you're all washed up.
Well, you've heard what they had to say about what they're going to do. Now be at the Coliseum on Friday night, and you will see that they are going to do what they say, because they have a strange habit of turning those words into violence and to action, and it is going to be solid action at the Coliseum this coming Friday night. I remind you that our
Congratulations, everyone, from Barton Coliseum in Little Rock, Arkansas. This place still abuzz over what we have just seen. Typical Freebird plan, no doubt about it. Michael Hayes knew exactly what he had to do when he came to the ring. Terry Gordy with the foreign object, knocking out Steve Dr. Death Williams. It took quite some time to get the good doctor to his feet and to the dressing room. I'd like to welcome at this time Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert, the Universal Wrestling Federation. Eddie, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Jim. It's a very proud honor to be here tonight.
Well, I'll tell you, we're going to have Eddie here, ladies and gentlemen, to add his insight and expertise in tag team wrestling. You're going to see a great tag team matchup in just a few moments, but before we do, Cowboy Bill Watts has recently won a very, very prestigious award presented by Pro Wrestling Illustrated in just a few moments.
Big deal.
Well, it is a big deal.
Big deal.
Oh, it really is a big thing, and we're very proud of the president of the UWF. And now let's go to that feature with Cowboy Bill Watts and Bill Apter, senior editor of Pro Wrestling Illustrated.
For Pro Wrestling Illustrated magazine, this is senior editor Bill Apter, and today I'm in the UWF for a very special reason, a very special presentation, as a matter of fact. This, as you know, is the beautiful Man of the Year trophy, beautiful Man of the Year plaque that every year is given to someone who does something above and beyond the call of duty. And this year, for Walking Tall for America and all the countless numbers of charitable things that this man has done, the editors have given the plaque this year to this man right over here, Walking Tall, Cowboy Bill Watts. Congratulations,
Well, thank you, Bill. It's really a distinct pleasure. You know, as you reach the twilight of your career, possibly in the ring, to get something like this that's kind of saying, well, everybody kind of backs what you're doing, because as far as I feel, this really represents the heart and the feeling of the Universal Wrestling Federation. We feel as a group it's almost like a crusade, because the wrestling fans write us constantly about what they think about the Universal Wrestling Federation, the athletes, the action, the pace. And all of these guys, as hard as they work and as hard as they go, they have always given of their time to the crippled children's hospitals, to the Vietnam memorials, to the different situations, a lot of times unheralded and unpublicized. And to get something like this from you, and you coming all the way from New York to make the presentation, it really gets me, because, again, like I say, we feel that this is what the Universal Wrestling Federation is all about. We are the People's Wrestling Federation, and we are what they want to see. And that just gives you that fire to keep on trucking.
And you are the man of the year. For Pro Wrestling Illustrated, this is senior editor Bill Apter. See you at the matches.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, there you see Hollywood John Tatum and Jack Victory, along with the beautiful Missy Hyatt, making their way to the ring. And that's, I think, one of the reasons that we have asked Eddie Gilbert to join us here, because they'll be in tag team action against Iceman King Parsons and the Missing Link here on the UWF. And I don't know of anyone that knows Jack Victory and Hollywood John Tatum any better than you and your partner, the man that they affectionately called, or maybe unaffectionately called, Crayola Face.
Yes, thank you very much, Jim Ross. You know, first of all, of course, I do know Hollywood John Tatum and Jack Victory better than anyone else, and that's the reason why Sting and I have nothing more to do with these guys. But I want everyone's attention to be on this pretty, beautiful young lady.
You know her better than
the most beautiful. I know her better than anybody else knows her, Jim Ross.
Yes. John Tatum, huh?
Well,
all right, well, yeah, please.
No comment.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a tag team matchup.
Hollywood, California, Jack Victory. And his partner, weighing 240 pounds, from Hollywood, California, Hollywood John Tatum.
I must say,
in the ring with them,
Missy Hyatt.
Look at her.
How can you not look at her?
Ooh. I think she hates to take his robe off,
Are
too.
you going to be able to calm down now?
I don't know.
She's got...
Make sure they get good camera shots of Missy.
Yeah, they'll get cameras. They get a wide-angle lens on Missy, I guess, but be that as it may, Bang Your Head blares in the background.
There he comes.
And in a few moments, you're going to see one of the most unorthodox teams, I would say, in pro wrestling today. Dark Journey will bring to the ring the Missing Link and Iceman King Parsons. It will be a tremendous tag team affair. You can bet on it. Because Dark Journey and Missy are at ringside. That always adds a lot of excitement, because wherever they are, well, I don't think there's any building in the country where you put them both in, if it's a restaurant, a department store, or an arena, that they're not going to lock horns.
Yeah, but Missy always has you beat, Jim, because she's the most beautiful of the two. She can fight better than the two. She looks better than the two. She's just the greatest of the two.
Well, we brought you here for your opinion. You're certainly giving it to us. If they get after it tonight, Missy's not too, she doesn't have her fighting attire on. And that's...
Fight anything, Jim, believe me.
Well,
and in the ring,
okay, Eddie.
235 pounds from St. Louis, Missouri, Iceman King Parsons.
This is certainly going to be an experience, I'll assure you.
And his partner, 270 pounds, from parts unknown, the Missing Link. In the ring with them is Dark Journey. One fall with TV time remaining.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is our first standby match. Beautiful Missy Hyatt.
There it is.
Awfully serious, and she should be serious. The Dark Journey staring at her across the ring.
That's the reason why she's serious.
Well, it's going to be Hollywood John and the Iceman coming from St. Louis, Missouri.
You know, Jim, I also got to say that I know this kind of sounds a little bit crazy probably to you and the rest of these people, but I'm almost in the position here. I'm almost ready to cheer for the Missing Link and Iceman King Parsons, because, you know, Jack Victory and John Tatum, to me, caused Sting and I to return UWF title bout last week here on television against the Fantastics, because they psyched us out. It's their fault we lost the match.
Excuses, maybe?
No.
Reasons?
No, it is the truth. Michael Hayes even said here and said it. And he's a man of truth.
Oh, well,
he tells the
let's
truth
don't even
all the
get
time.
into that situation. Michael hasn't been here in the last several matches, and I haven't even thought about it.
Okay, I just want to tell you that. Look at it.
Michael's going to have his problems with Steve Williams once they review that tape.
Well, I do have to agree with you.
now.
I would have probably picked on somebody else other than Steve Williams in that case.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. As John Tatum backs Iceman King Parsons into the...
Oh, look at that. It didn't hardly take any leverage at all, and Iceman put him down. Believe me, when it's all over, Missy will be coming back to the real man of the two. Hot stuff, Eddie Gilbert.
You think so, Eddie?
She'll be leaving John Tatum. You just ask any girl out there who the real man is, John Tatum or Eddie Gilbert, they'll tell you.
What about, I understand matches are being negotiated. Hollywood John Tatum and Jack Victory against your team.
That's right. Sting and I, Steiner and Sting, Steiner and myself. Any of the two, we want these two guys any place, any time. Right here, as a matter of fact, on this podium, I don't care.
Well, I would disagree with that. And Iceman, ooh, what a chop. That Sting's up here.
What a drop kick.
Standing drop kick. Jack Victory right on the jaw. Eddie Gilbert's ecstatic. It's nice to have someone up here that's in a good mood every now and then.
This is great. Look at him down. Iceman Link doesn't even have to get in the ring. Iceman's got them both down.
Iceman did a little style in there, strolling. I think he walks like that down Main Street in St. Louis.
Yeah, he has all the people boogalooing behind him.
KDNL, the folks watching us this Saturday morning in St. Louis. Coming up, ladies and gentlemen, this Sunday in Oklahoma City at the beautiful Myriad Center. Also, the national television taping this Sunday night in Tulsa at the Convention Center. Big events coming to Lake Charles, Louisiana. Biloxi, Mississippi's big, beautiful Gulf Coast Coliseum. The Sam Houston Coliseum, Houston, Texas. What an event there Friday night. Also, Saturday night, Jackson, Mississippi. And the big one at the Cowtown Coliseum in Fort Worth next to the legendary Billy Bob, Texas. Sunday night, October 19th. And we're back to the match at hand. Well, I'll say this. Maybe you psyched them out, Eddie, being on the podium, because nothing has worked for Tatum and Victory thus far. I don't think Missy's really ecstatic about what she is seeing. And the old southpaw.
Look at that. What I left. Jim, the people couldn't see Tatum and Victory's faces when they walked up here by us, but they got scared to death when they saw my face.
Ooh, the missing link with that headbutt. The Iceman put the southpaw, put that left hand on him. The left hand connected, and then the headbutt of the missing link. And I don't really think you can categorize his head as a headbutt other than maybe a battering ram.
You throw anything into it, it'll bounce off.
Missy Hyatt, very stoic at ringside, very cautious with Dark Journey there. Dark Journey moving around very freely, and Hollywood John may wish his back on Hollywood and Vine right now.
Cannot compare with high stuff.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I've just been notified that we must take a television timeout. We'll be back with more exciting UWF action after this very brief timeout. With hot stuff, Eddie Gilbert and Hollywood John Tatum buried the knee into the kidney area of Iceman King Parsons.
Very dirty move on the part of John Tatum, I think, Jim.
You would never do anything like that, Ed, right?
Well, the only thing I know, Jim, if that had been John Wayne, he'd have never stooped that low. Do you think, Pilgrim?
I don't know about that. Oh, Lord.
Jim, do you think maybe if I do my John Wayne for Missy, that'll win her over?
I don't know, Eddie. I have no idea what Missy likes.
What do you think if I do my Howard Cosell for him?
I don't think that's going to get it either, and this might not get it for John Tatum as Iceman King Parsons kicks out. I think it's going to take more than that, Ed, just to be honest with you, my friend.
Jim, I've got many, many more of those, and before the show's over, I promise we'll get some more in, too.
All right.
I just tell you, I cannot wait till Iceman King Parsons gets to the corner and tags him instantly, because I hope John Tatum's in the ring when he comes in.
Well, right now, Iceman definitely needs to make a tag. You know, ladies and gentlemen, next week here on the program, the Fantastics will be back with us, along with Ted DiBiase, the new UWF television champion, Freebird Buddy Jack Roberts.
Isn't that something? Buddy Roberts is new television champion.
Yeah, the way he won. I'm not taking anything away from Buddy's ability, but the way he won it was a blatant cheat. That's all there is. Plus, we'll be talking about the first UWF Pro Wrestling Illustrated tournament right here next week. That's going to be a big thing, and we'll be talking about that big news in pro wrestling. We'll have that next week here as well. Back to the match.
Tatum can't hold him, Jim.
Iceman King Parsons and Hollywood John Tatum. Tatum with that snap suplex on Iceman King Parsons.
Better be more than that to hold him down.
The Iceman kicks out. Iceman, one of the tough competitors here in the UWF. As Tatum tags in his high school buddy, Jack Victory.
You know, Jim, John and Jack kind of remind me they ought to be presidents of my fan club or something. If you ever notice, they always do stuff imitating myself.
I haven't
They're always strutting around. They're always wearing jackets and robes like myself, trying to wear sunglasses or getting down. They're trying to look like Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert. There's only one Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert. They can't even come close.
Iceman King Parsons fighting back. Iceman King Parsons fighting back. This is our first standby match, everybody, and this was, they're really competing here, and Iceman going for the coup de grace, Jack Victory. It was a smart move, exactly right.
I just hope Missy stays out of the way of the action. That's the only thing I hope.
Well, I tell you, the way she's dressed, so do I.
Yeah.
I'll tell you. Well, seriously.
There it is, what I told you, right here.
Ooh!
The head.
But Missy leaped with a battering ram. That head.
Look at him.
Holy goes. Get him. Eddie Gilbert.
There's one time, Jim, I'm for him.
Look at Missy.
Look at Missy. She can pull my leg anytime.
Yeah, she's pulling a lot of legs.
Oh, look at Gordy now. He's running after her. Oh, look at him. Oh.
We're just about out of time, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, Missy, get out of there. Missy! She's going to hurt Missy. She's going to hurt Missy. Somebody up Missy.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're out of time. We'll see you next week right here on the UWF. We'll see you next week, everybody.
Well, you know, Eddie Gilbert, you talk big for such a small man. But we're going to see just how big you are. It's you and that big, dumb, steroid head Sting against me and my beautiful partner, Jack Victory, in a no disqualification match. That means we can do anything we want to do to you, you idiot.
I think we ought to just all stay together instead of like, I mean, it'd be better because then we could all be together and have to fight against each other.
I won the titles for them in the first place. They got no appreciation for that, right? You wanted a title. I went out to try and get it for you, and that stupid Eddie Gilbert messed it up. But there ain't gonna be no mess-ups this time, Eddie. It's you and me and that stupid Sting and Jack.
The difference in the match now, as Steve Dr. Death Williams is trying to, he reversed it on Hayes, and Michael Hayes, he has that rock career. He aspires to be the rock star. He has a lot of talent, but rock stars don't get too far when their faces have been battered, and a steel cage match is not the place to stimulate and permeate a rock career. There may be some rocking going on, but it's going to be from the good doctor. And it's house call time as Dr. Death with those right hands, and it looks like Hayes is bleeding.
Yeah, both bleeding, and legendary Houston Wrestling Cage once again doing the job of keeping the match inside the ring to settle the issue once and for all. Look at Dr. Death raking his face across that steel cage.
That's brutal. This cage, that cyclone fence, and right by the hair. Dr. Death throwing Michael Hayes by his hair. And Hayes is begging for mercy from the 275-pound stallion from Norman, Oklahoma.
Dr. Death falls through with another right to that bloodied face of Michael Hayes, as Michael Hayes doesn't look too purely sexy right now. As he's trying to find a way out, Dr. Death reaching out with grasping his hair, and Dr. Death now resorting to some of the same tactics that Michael Hayes resorted to early in the match. When you get inside the steel cage, Jim, you've got to fight fire with fire.
And it is a career-threatening match anytime you sign a cage match. Hayes and Dr. Death both do it. Dr. Death certainly knew it. And now he's tying Michael Hayes up into those ropes, and Hayes is in dire straits. And we're not talking about money for nothing. We're talking about in jeopardy. He is in trouble. Hayes is bleeding. He's tied in the ropes, and Dr. Death remembers what happened to him a few weeks ago. He remembers the hospital stay.
And that slap across the face is more the revenge that Dr. Death is looking for. This is an opportunity he's been waiting months and months for, is to get one-on-one with Michael Hayes, who he blames as being the mastermind of the attack that put him in the hospital. And he could very well be right, but that time, that crashing the turnbuckle didn't help Dr. Death's cause at all.
I think the key point there, too, Pete, was the fact that Dr. Death was setting Hayes for a pile driver. And I can almost assure you, if he can pile drive him once, he'll pile drive him as many times as the strength in his body will allow him. And try to put Hayes out of action, not just temporarily, but for good. As Hayes now trying to set Dr. Death for the pile driver.
And Dr. Death on pure strength with the other reverse it. We've got Dr. Death on top. We've got one. We've got two. And Michael Hayes kicked out in just the nick of time. But I think you're right, Jim. Dr. Death would love to pile drive Michael Hayes several times and possibly leave the business card of the doctor that saw fit to recuperate with Dr. Death, because he would love nothing better to send Michael Hayes on that same recovery trip that he had to go on, a painful, drawn-out recovery.
I think it's very interesting to note promoter Paul Bosch right at ringside in this match, keeping a close eye on this situation. He was the man that reluctantly allowed Dr. Death to go about his quest to rid the area of the Freebirds via the cage match.
Dr. Death setting him up, and that is the type, form, and style that caused Dr. Death to be named an All-American at the University of Oklahoma in that offensive line. And now as he sets him up again, Michael Hayes saw him coming and moved. As charging, Dr. Death goes crashing into the ring post.
Dr. Death, a high-risk maneuver. If he could have nailed Hayes, it would have been all over there. No doubt about that. But Hayes, the veteran, a 27-year-old veteran, he knows all the tricks. Now Hayes is getting back on the offensive. He knows how to take over. He knows when to take over. But he has sustained so much punishment. Does he have anything left? That's what remains to be seen in this contest.
Referee Tommy Gilbert checking up on the cut on Michael Hayes' head as he continues to bleed. And the match continues, and once again the chant by the 8,000 strong here at the Coliseum, OU. The pile driver, and he landed with it. He landed with a pile driver, and it could be true. Michael Hayes warned that no man can go through all three Freebirds, that maybe the toll of the first cage match is starting to show here in the second.
And another thing to remember here is that Dr. Death's neck is not 100%. The injury that he sustained, he came back early, but his neck's not 100%. Remember that. Dr. Death with a power slam.
And that was 260 pounds plus of Dr. Death power slamming Michael Hayes. As now Dr. Death going up on the ropes. He's on the second rope. He's perched up there waiting. And Michael Hayes turned around and a driving, flying block as Dr. Death's on top. We've got one, we got two, we've got three, and Dr. Death has gone through step number 2, Jim.
Steve Dr. Death Williams with that patented football tackle off the second rope. He's bleeding profusely, but he has gone through Michael Hayes. He will get Terry Gordy in the cage. It will be for the UWF Heavyweight Championship. Dr. Death is 2/3 of the way into what people said was the impossible dream. There was no way he could win 2 cage matches and get to the third situation. But we have got an all-out, well, this situation, the crowd several thousand strong standing. Dr. Death is triumphant in the steel cage in the Sam Houston Coliseum. Michael Hayes has been defeated in a bitterly hard-fought battle with Steve Dr. Death Williams. As Terry Gordy now going into that cage, and he's attacking Dr. Death.
Well, Terry Gordy has come into the cage. The match is over. Steve Dr. Williams has won the match, but Terry Gordy has come in, and we've got both referees inside the steel cage. Now comes Ted DiBiase, as Terry Gordy not happy with the fact that Michael Hayes lost, for one thing, and number 2, that he is now going to have to face Dr. Death inside the steel cage. DiBiase comes in, and he's even the score.
DiBiase's there with his partner, but Hayes with a cheap shot from behind. Dr. Death's lost a lot of blood. He's weak.
Well, both Ted DiBiase and Dr. Death have an extra grind, and now look at that belt. The belt has come out as he lashed it across Ted DiBiase.
You can hear it.
And you can hear it through the loud noise here at the Coliseum as he continues to whip Ted DiBiase. The match is over, but the battle is not. DiBiase fighting back. Dr. Death is fighting Terry Gordy as we've got all four men in an unscheduled battle.
Well, Hayes, the belt was flying. DiBiase's got a belt. Hayes was lashing him. People are throwing belts in from the audience. And the country whipping showdown is set. Bam Bam and Dr. Death locked horns. But, brother, they will get it on in the fence for the title. Look at the belts coming in from the audience. Country whipping, it's all on the line. If Dr. Death's victorious, he'll get his match. Nobody thought it could ever happen, but Dr. Death will make it happen in the cage for the gold.
And if Dr. Death can do it, he's going to make professional wrestling history inside the steel cage against Terry Bam Bam Gordy for the Universal Wrestling Federation heavyweight title match. Don't you dare miss it. What a tremendous feat so far. He's won 2 cage battles, 1 cage battle away from making history.
1 cage battle away from making history. He's 1 victory away from becoming the new UWF Heavyweight Championship. It will be decided inside the steel cage. You need to be here, Houston.
Boy, oh boy. This is the one I've been waiting for. This is the big one. Bam Bam. In Houston, Sam Houston Coliseum. The big cage. The dangerous cage. The cage they all talk about in Houston. Bam Bam, you and me. 2 birds down, 1 to go. It's going right down my street, not Bad Street. You talk about Bad Street, brother. I'll walk down Bad Street, take all the signs, and I'll knock at the door at the last. Excuse me, I gotta get tongue twisted. But I'd knock at that door at the end of the street and kick it down. Let me tell you something, Bam Bam. You're going down in Sam Houston Coliseum, and the people are gonna be going nuts.
It's been good to have you with us, ladies and gentlemen, and you saw action inside that cage, and you know the kind of action that's going to take place with Bam Bam Gordy and Dr. Death Steve Williams. And, of course, get there early and dunk Missy Hyatt. Get there by 6:30, but the wrestling action starts at 8. We'll be back again, of course, next week on Saturday night and Sunday morning, and we wish that you will be right here with us. So long, everybody.
Houston Wrestling was brought to you by...
What I'm doing here. The first item, women's lingerie. I feel almost a little...
Oh, yeah.
They're just nice.
Sure. Oh.
All right, little women's lingerie. These are musical panties. By Nicole for the Weir Corporation. They're $12, and they're sold at the Broadway and major department stores everywhere. Now, for example, if you pick one of these up and you press the little button here. All right, excuse me. What am I doing wrong? Put the mic down.
There it is.
What is the song? Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star.
Oh.
We have something else?
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
What are these playing? It's just a little... All right, here. Let me call you sweetheart. All right. I don't know what I'm doing wrong here. What happened? I think that's when the Saints go marching in. One of these is I can't even play for. It's Climb Every Mountain. Now, somebody made these up.
Oh,
Men.
look at that. Isn't that nice? Here's Johnny.
Here's Johnny. What is that?
It's a small world.
It's a small world. And little things mean a lot. Okay. Here's something that's pretty disgusting, but they're kind of fun. Called Ooze It. $2.99 each, sold through Ace Novelty in Los Angeles. Now look at this. green-looking thing, and you squeeze it, and look what happens. What? Isn't that awful?
Now, what is this one?
Then you can take the top off, and you can refill them with more of this goose. You have to take this off, and they just...
The same thing?
Well, no, this is just... Now, Ed squeezes this? No, you have to fill that first.
Oh, I see.
This looks like you New Year's morning. All right, what do we got here? This is called the coughing spinning ashtray. If you're trying to get somebody to quit smoking, this is $22.99, and it's from Play With It in San Francisco. And what you do, if you put a cigarette up, that's what the place is called. That's the name of the store, Play With It. All right. This is, if you're unappreciated, underrated, underestimated, this is called an applause box, sold at the price of his toys here in Beverly Hills. And you just open this little box here and you press this.
Oh, you have to get one of those. More. That's great.
How do you feel this? I guess you don't. Well, anyway. Right, okay. That sells for $18. All right, thank you very much. Magic Monster, sold through Little Mort in Chicago.
Yay,
Get a close-up of this, Bob, and I will turn on the... Like somebody had the luncheon special at the commissary. This is called Fanfare. Now, you put this in your pocket. You're out on a rainy day, right? Say New York. And you want to get a taxi. And you just go out and you wave this.
Yeah, that'll get you a taxi.
Yeah, no. Unfortunately, the cab driver has one on the back that says 0. Anyway, that's $6, and what else do we have? Did I forget something?
You did the first one.
We're going to come back to it. Well, let's do that now. This is the drinking helmet with siren, sold through the Ace Novelty of Los Angeles for $20. Now, what this is weird. You can actually put a drink on each side of this. That's all we need. The tube runs into your mouth.
Right.
It's got a little thing here. I suppose you could put vodka on one side, orange juice on the other, and mix your thing. Not only does it do that, but it makes sounds. You can talk if you're at a football game. I'd love to have a guy drinking with this.
Right in back of you. Yeah.
And you can also, you have all little things you can do here. For example, you move it to here. Am I pressing?
Press the button on the side.
Press the button on top, okay. How would you like to have this yuts behind you? And you know what happened? One guy get one of he'd use all this.
Sure.
Or you can go over just to, all right. Or you can actually talk to the crowd.
Yeah.
Fans in front of you can yell at. This is weird. This is horrible. You put this on.
Mr. America.
You believe this?
Let me see this.
This is all we need. What are you doing?
Just trying to turn something on to get the real feel of it.
No, you have to actually. This is the guy you'd get behind you at the ball game. Now these, let me see. All right. You ever go to the beach?
Yes.
All right. You don't have sandals available? These are Cheap Charlie's Soul Suckers. You don't have to strap them on. You just put them on the bottom of your feet. And they stick. So if you're walking across the beach with silver like that.
Wonderful.
Yeah. This would be you at the beach. Prince Charles. musical mirror. You pick it up. Sold at the Music Box and Clock Shop, or Shoppe. It's S-H-O-P-P-E. Was that shop or Shoppe?
Very expensive Shoppe.
Yeah. This is $110, but if you had a bad day, you pick the mirror up. Place, everything is beautiful.
In its own way.
They have, what does this sell for?
$100,
$110.
Yeah.
You can get a trio to come in and play for that. See these?
What is this?
This is called, these are sold at Marriott hotels. It's sandwich notepads. These look like real bread. You open it up, and you have little lunch notes.
Oh.
Okay. So it's $24 a loaf, or $3. That's right, they come in a loaf, or $3
wrapped.
for individually wrapped sandwich, $3. Good for writing an obscene BLT. All right, now, some guy sat in his basement working on this. This is called Paddle Pung by Wayne Cox Woodworks in Houston, Texas for $6.99. Here's a little small, I guess, what, tennis court or ping pong table, and it's for very lonely people.
Very good.
Who sit and play. Featured in the Hermit Olympics coming up soon. We got time for one more, quickly? All right. You ever lose your keys?
Yes.
All right. This is a thing called Beep and Keep. $19 each, the Sharper Image Catalog of San Francisco. You're in a room, you put your keys somewhere, you cannot find them.
Right.
You don't know where they are.
What is the solution, pray tell?
Well, what you do when you lose them? You clap your hands 4 times in rhythm, and that beeps.
Okay.
Right?
Yep.
We'll be back in just a moment. Weird Al Yankovic will be out shortly, as will Charles Nelson Riley. But my first guest, I'm sure you all know, he's a bright young movie actor who's starring, as I mentioned before, in a very hot movie out this summer called Back to the Future. And Michaels has another movie opening August the 9th called Teen Wolf. And then he goes back to NBC's series Family Ties for a 4th season. Would you welcome Michael J. Fox?
So glad.
What?
I'm so glad. I don't need this little thing.
You don't need the stool?
No, the little thing that comes out.
Yeah, I'll
My
use that
feet are on the
occasionally.
ground.
You can. Do you get tired of people in articles referring sometimes to your short stature?
Not really. It's I've always been short, so especially around this guy.
Yeah, it's 6'4".
Yeah, you're a big guy. But no, it's always kind of worked to my advantage. You know, when I was a kid growing up, if like a friend was locked out of his house, I was the guy who could fit through the bathroom window. Or I was the guy who could crawl down the grate and get the ball. You know, so it always worked to my advantage. And I started acting when I was 15, playing like 10-year-olds.
Yeah.
And so it's always worked for me. So I just look people in the eye and tell them it's okay with me.
Did you get to be a certain age and still think you were going to grow, and then it just...
Yeah, yesterday I harbored the fantasy for a few minutes. I went, maybe. No, I think actually I got used to it. There was a point there when I was working. I was about 18, and I moved down to the States and was playing younger parts. And I thought, one day I'm gonna like grow, and the whole thing is gonna go out the window. So.
Never happened, huh?
Never happened. I did when I was about, I guess about 15, 16. I got into a thing where I thought if I ate a lot, that I would grow. So I did a lot of power eating and
worked for Ed.
Yeah. Well, I grew out this way.
No.
I was about 4'11", 140 pounds.
I've read people about once they would try to get in the police department, and they would be like a half an inch short, and they would actually try to stretch by hanging from a bar or something, but from...
Right, they had this other thing called rolfing. A guy was trying to sell me on this one, said he knows how to make people grow. It's called rolfing. He said you lie down on a table and they hit your back with a little hammer. So I told him, get out of town. I'll be okay. Put your hammer away. I think I like it like this.
You originally came from Canada?
Right. Right. Yeah, Vancouver I'm from.
How old were you then?
Well, I left Canada when I was 18, but I spent the first 18 years of my life there. I've been here for a quarter of my life now. It's hard to imagine. I've been here for 6 years.
Did you get a job right away?
Yeah, I worked right away for about the first year. I did a series called Palmerstown, USA, and
right.
I did like Family and Lou Grant and all that stuff, and then I just stopped working for a while.
That's really traumatic sometimes when things are going well and you're getting paid pretty well.
Yeah, you think you're Howard Hughes.
All of a sudden it stops.
Yeah, it just one day they kind of went, well, it was fun hiring him, but let's hire someone else now. So for about a year and a half, I didn't work very much at all. And because I'm Canadian, I was only allowed to be an actor here. I wasn't allowed to do anything. I couldn't go to Ralph's, and box groceries. So.
Oh, that's right, because you have to get a certain card
yeah,
or
you have all
something
these permits, and I had like a special ability visa, was what they called it. So it sounded like I had ESP or something, but it's just, I was an actor, but
Did you have any money put away?
Yeah, I had to put away in like a lot of restaurants, and I had to put away in.
Would you? No, you didn't work for almost a year?
Yeah, well, I did little things. I mean, I did a movie in Canada called Class of '84, which was, I think, about a bunch of students who axe murder their teachers. You know, that was a highlight of my career. But that was about. I was doing little things like that, and I was just trying to get by. I had a sectional couch that I was selling section by section.
Oh, you're kidding?
No, I
selling off the furniture?
I sold. There's an actor who lived in my building, and I sold him my couch section by section. He still has it, I think.
We're going to take a short break, but we're coming right back. Stay where you are. Thank you, Doc. We're talking to Michael J. Fox. Did you finally sell all the sectional counts, or did you?
Yeah, I had one little bit left.
And then all of a sudden
I was
you got
going to have it bronze.
That's kind of nice. You didn't get away. You didn't get totaled.
Yeah, no, I still had a little bit left.
You're having a real good year. Most actors, when they've had those lean periods and they get something where they've got some bread coming in, go out and say, okay, now I'm going to buy something I've wanted.
Right.
Just out of luxury. Did you do that?
When things weren't going that well, I used to always hate when some young guy about my age would drive by in this, those sports cars, really fancy sports cars with the big tires and everything. I used to hate those jerks. So I went out and bought one.
Yeah.
It's great.
To get even with it.
Yeah.
Kind of nice to tool down the street.
It's great. It goes 90 backwards.
Yeah. And you bought a house, somebody said?
Yeah, I got a house in the hills. It kind of reminds me of Canada because there's like dirt all around it and stuff, and trees that have been there for a while. And there's a guy who is kind of the equivalent of, I guess, bombastic Bushkin. This guy who works for me named Howard the Wiznicki.
That's your business manager?
Yeah, and he said to me, I was looking for houses. He said, okay, now what you want to do, when you go and you see these houses with the broker, you be real cool. You be real, you hate everything. You don't like the house, you wouldn't live in it if they paid you, and that way he can negotiate. So I looked at all these houses, and I walked into this one, and I looked around, and I threw my keys on the ground, dropped them, and he said, my house, my house. And
blew the cool, and you won.
Well, yeah, he just turned to the broker and said, he does this at every house.
You don't want to get too cool.
No,
that's no fun.
But we got it, and I was bouncing around. And then
my house,
I finally got it and moved in. I put a lawn chair in the middle of the empty living room with a baseball bat and just said, mine.
Mine.
This is mine. So I'm having a lot of fun with it.
Yeah. You have a current lady friend? It's none of my business, but it's just.
How about you? Yeah, you do.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I have a current lady friend. How about you? There's an old saying, somebody hands you a hot potato, you hand it back,
right? Yeah, hand it right back. Who are you seeing, by the way? Because
what are you from one of those tabloids or something?
Right.
No, I mean, you're a good-looking young man. I mean, you've got a hit now, and you're...
Actually, there's someone that I've seen for quite a while, but because I'm so busy, I have a lot of room.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Sure.
So anyway, did you see any of Wimbledon? Was that Becker kid?
Boy, you're really changing the subject.
No, he was...
I have a feeling you have a revolving door in your new house. Why do I get... Anyway, let's talk about the picture.
Okay.
It's a fascinating premise. One
It's
goes
a
back
neat-
and sees their parents
Right.
when they were young.
What he actually does is he goes back. He has a friend who's a mad scientist played by Christopher Lloyd, who's just
Funny man.
great. Yeah, he's a maniac. He's great.
Christopher Lloyd, if you don't remember, played Jim in Taxi.
Yeah, it was Jim.
Yeah.
Disturbed,
Jim Jones, disturbed.
Yeah, he was great. And anyway, he's an inventor, and he invents this time machine made out of a DeLorean. You know those cars.
Oh, do I know those cars?
And
Do I know those cars? Yeah.
anyway, he makes this time machine, and he sends Marty back to 1955. And Marty interferes with his parents' meeting, and immediately jeopardizes his own future existence. So now he's got to get his parents together and get back to the future.
Good premise. Here's a film clip.
Oh, I should explain this before you go, because it's really complicated. What happened was Marty's grandfather hit him with the car, and his mother gets a crush on him, and now he's having dinner with his family, who they don't know that they're going to be his family.
And his mother is...
His mother is...
Your future mother is eyeing you.
Making the moves, yeah.
Yeah, that's... Okay. Weird situation. Watch the monitors.
You know, Marty, you look so familiar to me. Do I know your mother?
Yeah, I think maybe you do.
Oh, well, then I want to give her a call. I don't want her to worry about you.
You can't. That is, nobody's home.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Listen, do you know where Riverside Drive is?
It's on the other end of town, a block past Maple. East end of town.
Mother, with Marty's parents out of town, don't you think he ought to spend the night? I mean, after all, Dad almost killed him with the car.
That's true, Marty. I think maybe you should spend the night. I think you're our responsibility.
Well, gee, I don't know.
And he can sleep in my room.
I gotta go. Thanks so much. It was wonderful. You were all great. See you all later. Much later.
Good premise. Good premise. So your next picture comes out when? You follow us?
August 9th.
August 9th.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
We're going to take a break. Weird Al Yankovic is standing by. We'll be back. It is now silly time. My next guest is known for his parodies and send-ups of rock and roll hits, and he's playing the Greek Theater tomorrow night as a new album called Dare to Be Stupid. And his Showtime special starts next week. We want to thank the producers of the new Motown Review for letting Al be here tonight, because he's been dashing between this studio and that studio, because he's going to be on their show, which airs August the 9th at 9 p.m. Are you ready for Weird Al Yankovic?
I met him in a swamp down in Dagobah, where it bubbles all the time like a giant carbonated soda. S-O-D-A, soda. I saw the little runt sitting there on a log. I asked him his name, and in a raspy voice he said, Yoda. Y-O-D-A, Yoda. Yoda. Woo!
Well, I've been around, but I ain't never seen a guy who looks like a Muppet, but he's wrinkled and green. Oh, my Yoda. Yoda. Well, I'm not dumb, but I can't understand how he can lift me in the air just by raising his hand. Oh, my Yoda. 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 Well, I left town just a week before, and I never ever been a Jedi before. But Obi-Wan, he set me straight a course. He said, go to Yoda and I'll show you the Force. And I'm not the kind that would argue with me.
from the darker side. If you start to go astray, let the force be your guide. Oh, my Yoda. Yo, 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 Yoda.
I know Darth Vader's really got you annoyed, but remember, if you kill him, then you'll be unemployed. Oh, my Yoda. Yeah, 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 Yoda. My friend's really gotten a mess, so I'm gonna have to leave Yoda, I guess. But I know that I'll be coming back someday. I'll be playing this part when I'm old and gray. A long-term contract I had a sign, since I'll be making these movies till the end of time. I'm with my Yoda. Yeah, 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 Yoda. Yeah, 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 Yoda. Yoda. Yeah, 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 Yoda. Yeah, 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 Yoda. Yoda. Yeah, 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 Yoda. Yeah, 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 Yoda. Yoda. Yeah, 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 Yoda. Yeah, 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 Yoda.
That, of course, was Al's version of a song I think originally called Lola. And ones I've seen on MTV, I think, are Eat It and Like a Sturgeon. But now some members of our Tonight Show band are going to join Al for a medley of, of rock and roll hits done polka style. Weird Al Yankovic.
You're taking to me good, just like you know you should. You get me on my knees, please, baby, please. She looks so great every time I see her face. She put me in a
State of shock. Top coat, top hat. I don't worry 'cause my wallet's fat. Black shades, white glove. Looking sharp, looking for love.
They come on running just as fast as they can, 'cause every girl's
Crazy about a sharp dress man. Hey! Oh, what's love got to do with it? What's love but a second-hand emotion? What's love got to do with it? Who needs a heart when a heart can be broken?
METHODOFLOVE, it's the method of modern love. Owner of a lonely heart, owner of a lonely heart, much better than the owner of a broken heart. Owner of a lonely heart. We're not gonna take it. No, we ain't gonna take it.
We're not gonna take it anymore. Non sei Luftballon in un Breck zum Horizonte und der Uber saß dabei. I'm homesick to and get by. Now I gotta cut loose, foot loose, kick off my Sunday shoes. Please, Louise, pull me off of my knees. Jack, get back, come on before we crack. Blues, your blues.
Everybody cut foot loose. Why
Okay. Thank you, Weird.
Thank you.
You tell the guys in the Tonight Show band really felt at home there. Especially Connie Candoli and Pete Chrisley. Okay, we'll be right back with Charles Nelson Riley.